Welcome to my messy life. Take my hand and dive right on in with me. It's gonna be alright. Messy imperfect life with Leigh.
Hi, Dana Perry.
Hi, Leigh Keckner. How are you?
I'm so happy to have you in my home, my guest house home.
I'm so happy to be here, honestly. I'm thrilled.
So, I have to tell you how I first heard about you.
Okay.
I was watching an award show. I think it might have been the Academy Awards or the
Mhm.
Golden Globes.
Mhm.
And J.K. Simmons was up there accepting his award for that movie where he was really mean around a piano.
Whiplash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was accepting an award for Whiplash. And he was like, I'd like to thank Dana Perry for preparing me for this role and getting my body in shape. I was like, oh, that was a nice shout out on the freaking stage.
It was unbelievable.
So then I went to yoga
Mhm.
and I just left my class of 15 years. It's run its course. And I was like ready for a new one. I was doing some bullshit yoga thing where they pulled
Oops.
around at this, but it was like, I was like, I hate this. And then this girl next to me goes, hey, are you having a good time with this? I was like, no, I hate this class. And she's like, I've heard of a class. I'm going to take it. If you want to join me, you could get, it was Haley.
Oh my God,
And
seriously?
I said, what class? And she goes, well, I heard this guy talk about thanking her when he was getting his award. I'm trying to do my Australian accent. And she said,
pretty good.
and he mentioned Dana Perry. So I looked her up and her class looks good. I go, where is it? And she told me about it. And that's how
awesome.
we both started around the same time looking for a new class we could do.
I had no idea that's how you found it.
Isn't that a trip?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like a little breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Like I heard him, but I didn't look into it. And then
Right.
she said the same thing. I was like, all right, I'll go there.
It's all in the timing, really. Let's face it. When something new needs to come in, somehow it like presents itself, and then you're able to sort of eat those breadcrumbs to find the new way. So
Yes.
that's awesome. I love that.
And the class I took before, the woman was really unkind and really conflicted. Like she talked like she was spiritual, but she was a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always like trying to navigate it. And I was like, fuck it. And then she was mad at me all the time. And I was like, this is like the weirdest energy.
Right.
But where I was in that point in my life, I kind of needed to be beat up to
Right.
get my best workout. And then as I started getting more gentle with myself and kinder, and I started meditating and slowing down and quieting and being more compassionate, have self compassion,
Yeah.
it was no longer a fit for me.
I get that.
And so I went to yoga, and then this didn't cut it. And I
Right.
was like, where am I going to go? That was my class.
Oh,
And then I came to your class.
that's awesome. What I love about Shift so much, one, obviously it's the floor because it really does, it's a spring floor. So for those of you who don't know, it's a one of a kind floor and it takes out the impact.
It looks like a
And-
boxing ring.
Yeah, it looks like a boxing ring. And then it's a combination of like gymnastics flooring and martial arts flooring. And what that does, because I was a dancer and a gymnast and an acrobat, it really helps take out the impact because over time, you're pounding, you're pounding, you're pounding. You don't even realize what
Yeah.
kind of long-term damage it's doing. I mean, any runner, anyone, athlete that has that kind of impact over time, it kills. So long
Yeah.
story short,
So you
I-
picked that just to be gentle on the joints kind of thing?
yeah, that floor was a gift. Literally like Haley helping you find Shift. Which is funny. It's a segue into what we're going to talk about today. But I was in a work environment that was super toxic. And I left very quickly because my universe was saying, it's time. It's time for you to move on. And I was scared to death. And one of my clients, literally, her kids were at this martial arts gym. And she took a picture of the space and said, do you want to work here? And I was like, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's where you are now?
no, that's where I first started.
Okay.
I started renting space in North Hollywood at a mixed martial arts gym, and they had a similar floor. And it didn't really dawn on me that that was going to be an extension of what Shift really became once I left there and opened my own
Oh,
studio.
so that gave you the foundation of going on that floor.
Correct.
Because you were working on it, realizing as you were using it how,
The benefits,
and it's also harder to balance.
which is all about the core,
Yeah.
which is the basis of every exercise.
And I think too, it's kind of like sometimes when you are jumping or running or something on the beach
Mhm.
and you're just kind of sinking in, and it's even more work.
Right.
Like that's kind of how I think about the floor. It feels good hitting it, like it doesn't jar me, but it's also to spring off it. It's not firm to spring off of. So I'm like, I'm getting off like 1 inch when we do our
Right.
jumps. So I'm
Mhm.
like, can't get my ass up.
It's just what I love is the community, really. I mean, I think the workout is smart. The methodology that I created is effective. I did not reinvent the wheel. I just I joke, I parified it. Because at the end of the day, you really have to find your niche in such a saturated business, especially as a woman
Yeah.
in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I created something that is all the parts of me. And that way it's
Yeah.
authentic and organic. And when I teach daily, I love it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like I'm trying to do something or that I hate it. I mean,
Yeah.
some days are easier than others, like any job.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I see what it does for people. I see the rewards. I see how it makes people feel. People come in feeling one way and they walk out feeling another. And it's more than the workout.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is beautiful about it, is it's an experience versus just a workout.
Okay, can I ask you some specific questions?
Sure.
And these are kind of pertaining to me,
Okay.
but I often have a weird energy with I love group classes.
Yeah.
And I get very competitive within myself being around the group class.
Sure.
Like wanting to do really good and whatever. But I feel like I sometimes, or no, just my 2 times, and I experienced this a little bit with you, but I know it's about me.
Mm-hmm.
Is like the last teacher liked me and didn't like me, and something about me triggered her.
Uh-huh.
And I felt like at the beginning that you had that towards me.
Hmm.
And here's why. And I'm
Okay.
just asking because these are just things that,
Yeah.
because sometimes things are in our head, and then other times I'm like, I would do things like notice you complimenting. Well, first of all, I have to say all the people in the class
Yeah.
are your followers who have been coming to you forever. And there was like a real family already established.
Sure. Right.
So I came in and kind of bumped around and got my space right
Yeah.
up front, as I do.
But I get that because I do the same thing in a workout environment.
And I get anal about my space.
Yeah, me
Like there
too.
was one guy who always got in my space. But what I found out later was that was his space before I came. And then the days I'm not there, that's his space.
Right.
But when I'm there, it's my space.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You
so,
get there in time to grab it.
So then I had a whole dynamic with him. I'm
Mhm.
sidebarring a little bit, but
It's okay.
where I would get in his space and he would stand right next to me. Like literally we could touch fingertips.
I
And then I was
remember
like, this isn't going to work. You have to back up. And he's like, excuse me. I'm like, you need to back up.
Right.
Or I'll go forward, but then he would come forward. It was the strangest damn thing.
Right.
But I love that I brought it to your attention and you would laugh like you would see it. And then sometimes you would say, Dan, you need to back up.
Yeah. Well, there's a dynamic in a workout class, in my opinion. It's anywhere. It's anywhere in group fitness, especially when people come regularly, and I call them the veterans. And I do this whenever I work out as well. You like the same spot, the same vibe. You feel like you can click into a headspace.
Yeah.
Because you've created your surroundings.
Yeah.
But there are people who don't have exercise etiquette, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like if you're standing here, I'm not going to stand right next to you, which is what you were experiencing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I recognize it, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
But because I noticed and felt the tension, because I'm super energy
I'm like,
driven, it's just
you got to get on this one.
some people are unaware, let's face it.
Yeah.
So
And some people don't have, I have a couple kids this way. They don't have spatial awareness. They're not even aware that they're on top of me.
correct.
I'm like, back off
Yeah.
me, son.
It's so true.
Let me breathe.
Yeah, that's where
Okay.
they feel connected, even if they don't know you. It's weird.
So did you have something honestly weird a
Yeah.
little bit with me at the beginning? Because you were like, who is this girl coming in and
So
talking and poking everyone? And
not weird.
What?
This is the God's honest truth. So I can tell right away when someone feels great or not. I've been in the business of bodies my whole life, really. And there's an energy, and I'm sure you feel it too, the more you work and are around people, and you're to me so energy sensitive. And I just didn't feel the warm and fuzzies right away, you know? So I was,
Yeah.
to be quite honest, just really respecting space until I got to know you, because I had no idea who you were. I was honoring that you were a new student. But most of the people, and I'm pretty sure of this, but you can correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong, if I was paying a compliment or hugging or something, it's because I have a history with that person
Yeah.
versus
Oh, that's interesting to hear.
versus a brand new person. And we should totally, so there was a little, it's not the right thing, but an altercation you and I had where I was in the wrong.
Oh my gosh,
And-
I want to talk about that because
And I
it's,
didn't behave
it's
well.
so freaking funny though.
So okay, we're gonna talk about it.
So and this is the messy stuff, and this is where I think we learn about ourselves and other people, and
Yeah.
and if things aren't going quite right, you can be vulnerable and speak up. And I had just come from this really controlling gal
Yeah.
who was always trying. She would literally, if I was talking, take my bike and push it into a corner by myself while I'm riding it, and then I'd look over at my friends and make faces, and she'd
Oh,
get
wow.
pissed. So is that kind of weirdness?
Sure.
But then I was like, my ass had never been higher. So I was like, I will endure this weird shit
Yeah.
for this. My butt looks good.
Right.
So then I had enough of it. I was out. So then I came to your class and I felt like a little bit, because I think I'm a strong personality too. And it's
Mhm.
your class and it's your dynamic and it's people all love you. And they're all your
Nice.
good friends who've been with you forever. And then I'm just in there chatting it up and, whatever. And then we're going to, and there was.
But that doesn't bother me at all, honestly. I kind of like the strength of a person. I think it was just a getting to know you thing, because now I don't feel that at all, but it's also because we're both strong women.
Yeah.
And so it's unpeeling that shell when you don't know someone. There's a
Yeah.
protective, like, okay.
Because strong women, two of them coming at each other,
Mhm.
it is like,
You have
Not
to you have to suss it out, I think.
yeah.
I really do. And there's a couple things about me that I know that are just me, good, bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
And one of them is I'm a total clean freak. And you know it, my students know it. Anyone who knows me knows it.
Wait, I have to just say that because the little things about data crack me up. By the way, I'm a fan, and that's why I'm in the class now for over a year, right?
Yeah, over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah.
And it works your body from your head to your toe. So everything's getting a workout. And I know when I go there, I'm going to look kick ass in my bikini if I can cut back on eating too many cheese enchiladas.
Right.
Because you work every part of my body,
It does.
which I love.
Thank you.
And once I get in somewhere, I'm done because I'm working every part of my body. And then I can just go walk fireman or do yoga the other 2 days.
Right.
So
It is kind of awesome. You all should try it.
it is fun. If you're
Mhm.
here, try it. Come in.
Yeah.
And I'll get some special kickback.
She will. Shift by Dana Perri.
Yeah. So anyway, I knew I was coming to your class. I was like, oh shit, I got to navigate this new terrain with this new female instructor because there's always weird energy with me with the thing because I can't quite do things right or how most people do things. I just come in guns a-blazing.
Sure.
And I kind of felt a little something. And then you weren't there in the morning. It used to just be your Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia.
Mhm.
So I would always come in. Alicia's young and she has a mohawk and da da da. And I would shoot the shit with Alicia. And there wasn't any weirdness because I'm older than her and she's younger and this. And she's sweet and we're both kind of tough asses. But there was nothing with her. So I'd always joke and I would talk to her like, you know what? I love this class is I drop my kids 7:45. I come straight here at 8. And that is when I have my bowel movement every morning at 8:00. And so
I didn't know this at the time.
she
by
didn't
the
know
way.
any of this.
No idea.
So I'm always joking with it with this Alicia.
Alicia.
And I'm getting
Mhm.
confused.
It's okay.
So Alicia and I would joke, and she was like, meeting time when I come in and I go running back there. And I kind of love that I was on like clockwork. That my
Sure.
body was just going so right on. So anyway, I have this joke with her for a while. And then all of a sudden you got involved in it somehow where you're like, I don't know if you were like, what are you laughing about? She's like, oh, she poops every day at 8 a.m. there. And then one day, like I went in there and I think I left the fan on the door cracked open for the next person. And then you ran in, shut the door.
No.
But I think a few things happened. And then you made the
Okay.
announcement
Oh.
about pooping. And I was like, she's fucking talking to me. And I stood up and walked out. I was like, I can't believe
there were a series. So yeah.
Tell me from your perspective because
No,
I
I'm
just know that you shut the door once. And then I went up to you and I said, should I shut it when I poop? Because it seems like you got mad last time I cracked it open, let it air out. You go, shut it. I was like, okay, or whatever. And then the next time I did that, then you opened it. And I was like, what's going on?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't remember those times.
Okay.
I remember the pivotal time.
What was
where-
it? What
The pivotal time
it had
was
built up to this, a little
well,
thing.
it really didn't bother me, except what I did incorrectly. This is what I did incorrectly was my reaction to it, because I had like a childlike reaction to the fact that you went poop in my bathroom,
I
and
was like, that's what it's there for. And it's
Totally.
before everyone's here.
and I think
And I spray your potpourri spray. I do all the things right.
Yeah, I actually don't. I think I was off that day. And I took total responsibility for it because I saw the whole thing happen and I felt terrible because at the end of the day, it wasn't about you. It was what was going on with me.
I know that always is it.
Right.
But it was so funny because I was like, all right, I'm going to do this fucking class. I'll figure out the energy with her eventually.
Right.
We'll get good. And then this poop thing started. And then after I pooped that day, you went in and you turned around and you go, I'm so sick of people going to the bathroom in here. And it's so sick. And it was something like that. And I was like, she's taught this is directed to me in front of everyone because I'm the only one who comes at 8 a.m. and poops.
You know what? It was.
And then I think I just stood up, I
Yeah.
gathered my stuff, and I left.
You did.
And I thought to myself, screw her, I'm not going back. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, but I like the exercise class, Leigh. Maybe you can approach it with a more mature thing and talk to her about what you experienced and how you feel about it.
Right. Well, as soon as you left, and I know that there's always two perspectives, and I get like what it must have felt like, and I get that the way I said it wasn't appropriate, and all of that.
Yeah.
I totally. And when you left, as soon as class was over, I think I texted or called you right away, and you didn't answer. And
I hadn't processed yet,
of course,
what my response
but
was.
then I also wrote you an email. And that's when I just said, hey, I apologize for my behavior. I completely respect whatever it is. But how can I make it right? And that's something like we make mistakes. And you responded beautifully. And you said what felt uncomfortable about you and my behavior. And it became something that felt ginormous to something really small because it was a human error. And you came back quickly thereafter, and it was as if it never happened. And that's when I was like, I really like her, because that means that we can have a something and let it be and move forward.
Yeah.
That's real maturity, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I was triggered, and then my old behavior would be, screw that. I'll go find another place. I was like, my ass just got from another place. I don't want to go find another place. Gosh damn it. I have to stay and work through it with her.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think
I appreciate that too.
Was hilarious. I mean, looking back on it, it's hilarious.
I'm glad that we just put this on Facebook, actually. I'm really glad that now the world knows. You can poop in my bathroom, and you can spray potpourri, and it's good.
And now I don't poop that often anymore for some reason. Something's gotten off or something. I don't know. But now every time I go in, I want to scream to you, I'm not going. I'm just going one.
That's so good.
It's just in my head. All of it makes me laugh.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, and then there's one other thing that you do that's so quirky that makes me giggle too. But we all have quirky shit.
Sure, we do. The fact that you notice it means you're quirky.
Oh, yeah, because you can't see what you don't possess. That's like when you are judging someone.
Right.
Usually you're seeing something in them that you don't like that you possess.
Right.
And you're saying, oh God, why are they so loud? Why are they commanding all the attention? Why can't they just sit down? I'm like, oh, why can't I? Is that so I, right after class, go to the bathroom to wash my hands and splash my face. And Dana kind of starts taking her headphone off, her little Janet Jackson mic, and starts unpacking her thing and standing there. And then right when I start to walk, she goes in the bathroom and washes her hands and wipes down the counter. And I wait. So sometimes you're talking, I'm like, I'm going to beeline right past her and get in there first.
You always can. To be honest, I don't even realize that.
Oh, it's so freaking funny. Or you're like, I'm going to be just a second. I'm like, I'm going to push past you and do my ass first.
You can do whatever you want in there. That's just a process.
I know, but it's also like your habit thing. Is you don't even think of it.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, I want to get in there so fast. I get this on my especially if it's summertime and I have my rosacea. I have to splash the water to get it off, or it turns like even more crazy red.
Right.
I'm not having it right now.
You're not.
Maybe I'm been healed.
Yes, baby. Yes.
Anyway, all of it is such an interesting dance, and that's your second home.
Right.
That's your second bathroom. Those are some of your best friends in that class.
Some are, yeah.
For a long time, right?
Really long. Yeah, it's coming on 8 years.
But did you know them before, or that you just knew them from the class? Like Gina and...
no, Gina I met at Shift.
And the lady that cheers all the time. I love her.
Met at Shift.
What's her name?
Jenna.
You call her...
My cheerleader.
JR?
JR. My best friend... There's like a couple. My best friend, Amy, Peter Palmer, Cece, some of my 615 crew.
Oh, Cece was short hair?
No, Cece is 75 and she comes.
Oh, she looks good.
She looks amazing. I mean, I have 6 or 7 70 somethings that come to Shift.
They're strong.
And it's the floor and the way it moves, and it works your whole body. You sweat, you do cardio, strength, and you don't really need to do anything after that, which is great.
You know, the hardest part for me is the cardio blast.
For everyone.
And I just think, get through this motherfucker, and then the rest of it is doable without gasping.
Yeah. The rest of it is isolations.
Yeah.
Where you get your heart rate up and you come back down. You get your heart rate up and you come back down. And it's all done in phrasing, and it's designed that way.
And the cardio is burpees and football drills and push-ups.
and like fast feet and
Fast
things that
feet,
like spike
shuffling
your heart rate.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's also choreographed to music, and I think because I grew up a dancer and in theater, that element of music brings fun. It
Yeah.
brings joy,
Yeah.
you know? And for a lot of people, being musical is difficult. Let's face it.
Yeah.
So you say, dance, do something, and people are like, "Oh God,
Oh, and
don't
I'm
make
like
me
this.
dance, don't we?" Right? Or they
I
have
love
or they have the
dancing.
dance face. So there are moments in
Did
the
I just have a
class.
dance
You
face?
did, you went, but I do too. We all have one, right?
I don't think
When
I do that in your class, though. I do this in your class.
you're very, very focused.
Well, so I'm a goofball
I know.
all day, but in her class, I'm like this.
But you kind of have to be because it's your
Because I'm
mind-body
like,
connection.
doing all of this stuff. And she's like, smile. I'm like, I can't freaking breathe. Quit telling me to smile.
Right.
Or you'll say a joke and it's funny, but I can't skip the breathing pattern or I'll start gasping.
I get it.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, you say something funny, I'm like, I heard it.
Normally, if you hear me say that, it's because everyone in the room has this look, which is fine. So
I have to stay focused to get through that shit.
Yeah, I get it.
But some people can scream and laugh and have fun. I cannot. Like
Yeah.
Heather,
Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah.
She's cheering everyone on. And then
totally.
your cheerleader,
JR.
JR,
Yeah.
is like, all right, Leigh.
I just find that it's
I like to hear it, but I can't join in.
that's okay.
I have to just stay
But
in my
there's-
zone.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
It's not, listen, group exercise is, you go to group exercise so you can be motivated by other people, and you don't really want to do one-on-one training, or you don't want to go to the gym by yourself, right?
It is like
So-
one-on-one training in a group
In a group setting.
because it's hitting all my body parts.
And also, I have to say this with just because I feel proud that myself and the instructors teach a class and hone out individuals like you would in a personal training session
Yeah.
while being in a group environment. And I have to tell you, that's something special at Shift, because you go to a lot of places and there isn't the personal touch.
Yeah.
And
they're not paying
that's-
that much attention.
yeah, and that's just really important to me.
Yeah. And when you walk around, I'm like, oh, shit, get your shoulders back, drop them down, kiss your shoulder blades, put your toes
Yeah.
up higher because you're going to look at my posture and I
Right.
don't want to be corrected. So I'm like, do it perfect, hold it,
Yeah.
hold it perfect. All right, she's passed.
Because my job, and I mean this from my toes to my head, seriously, is for you to get stronger, for you to feel more like better about yourself, and to walk out feel like I feel taller. Oh, my core's starting to be a little
Already
more
I've
engaged.
accomplished something too.
Right.
Like, oh, that's off my checklist. I've taken
Yes.
care of my physical body.
Yes.
Now I can go home and meditate and take care of the internal, and then I can set out to kick ass and have margaritas. Possibly.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers with my Perrier.
Cheers.
Gonna have some of that actually.
But your class is fantastic. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now tell me about your mess.
So
Let's get messy.
yeah, let's get messy. Well, I was thinking about this because I've had a lot of messes in my life, but one that I feel I have really grown immensely is in my work life. But my work is very personal to me. It's not, I don't go to a job every day, and my whole life my job has been a huge part, like primarily a huge part of my life. Growing up as a performer and being on tour and working in choreography, and like
Wait,
create
you did Cirque. I can't even say it right.
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil.
Mm-hmm.
You were flipping around and doing stuff.
I was, yeah, I know.
How was that?
Oh, it was an amazing life experience.
Wow.
Some of the hardest things I've ever been through, and some of the most amazing. I mean, to get to tour the world doing what you love is a gift that I will always hold true.
And is that one main crew that tours the world? Because I know they have a Vegas show and
Nope.
they have a.
It's a total like cacophony of people. I mean,
Wow.
all over the world, different nations, different cultures, and it depends. I mean, they were created in Montreal, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing.
And what did you do at it?
I
what was your-
did aerial silks, Chinese
She
web.
spun around in the silk.
I did
Like-
trapeze bungee.
Wait, that's who? What her name did that? The singer who did the silks when she was
Pink.
performing. Oh, it was so
Mhm.
badass.
Yeah. It's so much training, but I grew up a dancer and a gymnast, and so I had a lot of physical strength. But you get trained, and
Yeah.
part of your job is to train all the time.
How do you audition for that?
You just audition.
So they
And
say
it's
do a
really-
back bend in the splits.
No, they do you do dance, and then there's cut, and then they give you just
Oh.
like any other audition. Mhm.
Because that's some badass
They
skill.
ask for special skills,
and they can. Some people can just balance a person on their hand.
Yeah. I mean, some cultures you grow up and that's how you get out of your country because you get sponsored by Cirque. That obviously wasn't my
Oh,
situation, but
yeah.
that was something that really taught me, like, I cannot do anything without passion, Lee, good or bad. I mean, everything that comes out of me comes from a soul space.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish it was different. I'll be real honest with you because I
Because it's
feel
heavy sometimes.
it's heavy and I feel things very deeply.
Mm.
And when it's not awesome stuff, it's sometimes, this sounds dramatic, but it can be debilitating. It like gets me at my core. But I also have so much joy and so
But
much love.
what's not awesome?
When whatever I'm going through, like if I'm feeling negative or I'm feeling sad
Oh.
or I'm feeling angry, it feels bigger to me
Yeah.
than maybe some other people.
Oh, yeah. So you're all into whatever the emotion is or whatever's
What?
going on.
Yeah, I don't know how to do
It's not
anything.
never like just going through the day, see, da da da.
I don't
everything's
even know what
easy
that's like.
breezy. Yeah.
Although I can be super easygoing and I can chill. Not everything has to have an intense.
Oh, you are intense.
I am
That's
intense.
a good word. That's
But
right.
I am not like that 24/7.
Yeah.
But if I want to do something or there's something that I love, I mean, I have an intention, which creates intensity.
Yeah. What about in your sexual relationship? Are you with someone now?
I am.
And how is that? Are you intense in that?
I
mean-
am.
I mean, sexual and relationship, kind of, because you're kind of like running the ship, at your place.
Yeah.
You're in charge. You're doing that. Is that the same in your relationship? Are you kind of in charge?
No. I mean, I go back and forth, to be honest. I mean,
You're kind of used to being assertive, but you want to be taken care of at the same time.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it gets exhausting just in life to always be the doer, the doer, the doer.
Yeah.
So in my love life, I don't always want to be the doer.
How do you shift out of
Yeah, but
your
I'm
company shift? How do you shift out of always being the doer?
You know what? I don't think you ever like shift out of it. You are who you are. Like I am who I am.
Word.
But
yeah.
when there is someone else who takes control, I'm fine with it. I mean, listen,
If it's good stuff.
I'm super particular, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like someone can take control and if I don't agree with it, I'm not going to sit there in the back seat and be like, "Oh, okay, just because you took control." I mean, if I don't,
Yeah.
I probably will have something to say
Yeah.
about it.
I like that you took control, but this isn't quite the way you do it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
admit that. That's not always a good thing. And I'm
Yeah.
totally working on understanding dynamics in relationships.
Yeah.
Because since I hit the earth, I mean, really, I've been a doer. I mean, I don't even know how not to do in a situation. Unless someone is like, "You know what, Dana? I'm going to take care of it." And if I trust that person,
They better fucking take care of it.
well,
If I sat down to take a break and it's not done,
amen. Don't tell me you're going to do something and then not do it.
Yeah.
That pisses me off. Or if you're going to not do it, just communicate.
yeah.
Hey, I can't do it because of A, B, and C. And I promise to always do the same.
Yeah.
Like you can know that if I tell you I'm going to do something, it will be done.
What in your childhood set you up to having to forge through?
Oh, well, that's an interesting. Well, I come from a very dysfunctional home. A lot of love, but a lot of dysfunction. My biological father was a pathological liar and a cheater. And, my mom at a very young age took her 2 girls. I have an older sister and said, finally, I was 5 years old. And my mom said, "We're out." And I think I was scared of yelling. I mean, having an older sister, I think she got more involved in the crazy, for
Yeah.
lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And I internalized. I would like hide in my room and internalize. And I was at a young age, very mental, like I always had a process, always made up a story. And that was my saving grace because there was a lot of, I don't like to use this word because I think it's used incorrectly a lot, but there was a lot of trauma and drama.
Yeah.
And there was also a lot of love and joy and celebration. So I don't
Yeah.
want to say my entire childhood
No.
it wasn't, but because of the way that I was raised with a single mother and an older sister, and it was a different time. Like my sister and I were left alone when my mom went to work.
Yeah.
I was 6 years old. She was 8.5.
Yeah.
And that was normal.
Yeah.
And we walked the dog and we took the bus to school, and like there was nothing abnormal about that.
Yeah.
So we had to be independent. And my mother didn't take any shit. Like she was just like, this is my job and this is your job.
But your dad recently passed away. Was that your stepdad?
That was my stepdad, my papa.
When did he come in?
He came in actually when I was 20, so he didn't raise
Oh, wow.
me.
So you were raised by a single mother.
Yes.
And that explains a lot with your focus and drive and gumption is you got to create, you got to make, you got to take care of yourself.
Yes,
Is
absolutely.
what
I
you
have
learned.
a father figure in my life who I call Pop. And he worked at the performing arts school that I went to. I went to performing arts school from 5th through 12th grade. And he was the dean of students. And we had can you imagine like 10 grades or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And really small school. And I just started acting out. And I was a really good student and I was a good kid, but there was so much shit going on in my home life.
Yeah.
And I was afraid to talk about it. I felt embarrassed and
Mhm.
ashamed. And I mean, all of my friends, we also had really fucked up families,
Yeah.
but it was our norm.
Yeah.
And
That's what you know.
it was my norm. And I just started doing stuff that was not Dana.
Yeah.
And rumors were going around school that I was snorting cocaine, which I've never done in my entire life, by the way.
It's kind of fun. Just letting you know.
Never done it.
No.
And I got called in to the dean of students and he sat me down and he said, is there my pop?
Yeah.
Is there something you want to tell me? And I was like, nope, because I really wasn't doing anything.
Right.
And lo and behold, the conversations, progressed and I finally started to unpeel the layers and he knew it.
Yeah.
And he never had any biological kids of his own. And so we kind of adopted each other.
Oh, I love that.
And so, I was married very young and he walked me down the aisle with my mom. And
I didn't know you were married.
Yeah, I was married really young, 23.
Oh my gosh.
And divorced when I was 30.
Wow, that's a long ass time.
Yeah, I was with the same man from 20 to 30.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel like I've lived a lot of chapters in a younger person's life.
Yeah.
Anyway, for not having grown up with any male energy in the home, I did have my pop as a role model. And then my papa came in, that was one of the big dysfunctions that now my mom, my sister, and I can actually approach, is that my mom was just discovering this beautiful young mother. She had gone from her parents' house to my father. And she was like, who am I? Which I think a lot of people in their 30s and 40s, women in particular, are like trying to rediscover themselves after a divorce. And it was messy, Leigh. And there were a lot of men in and out of our home who never did anything to us, but my mom just had boyfriends.
Yeah.
And I think, now after being in therapy for a long time, I understand my own stuff without being angry at my mom or my dad for what happened, understanding and finding compassion.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that makes me emotional, but it really does, because it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
To be an adult to your parents, because they're just people.
Yeah.
And I think that growing up, we idolize them. We put them on a level that isn't fair.
Yeah. And I think we wish we had things that they're unable to give.
Correct.
And then we hold them hostage, blaming them because they couldn't meet our needs, but they did the best they could where they were.
Amen.
Yeah, right?
Amen.
It's so great when I went from finger pointing to snorting cocaine to making out with guys to running wild through Hollywood. And the whole time I was pointing, it's her fault for not taking care of it, for neglecting me. It's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing the work
right.
on myself and melting all the stories and knowing why I was behaving all of these ways. Before I used to think I was just promiscuous. Like, no, I was desperately looking for love, but didn't feel vulnerable enough to put down my shield to connect with someone. Yeah. So I would just hit and go. And just having compassion for that part of me. Yeah. And then starting to look at her and say, holy shit. Yeah. How much was she suffering that she was laying in that bed? Yeah. She didn't want to live like that. She was vivacious and beautiful when she was younger. And now she's that. Like, and I'm mad at her because of that. She's suffering. It's like.
But you don't know it.
No, till you get older.
Yeah. You don't also. And some people never do.
No, they don't. They die blaming. Yeah. Correct. They die with their childhood story, so they never fully live their life.
Right. Which is so sad.
Yeah. It's like you either realize it, and I call it a pebble, that you create this little pebble. I was unworthy. Yeah. And I lived it hard. And then finally I was like, oh, shit. I'm being crippled by a 7-year-old thought I created.
Yeah.
That's just a ridiculous lie.
Yeah.
Like, boom.
Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it creeps up now and again, but I see it as a friend and a reminder to take care of myself and a reminder to move to compassion and acceptance. So it's interesting when people don't know they have it.
Right.
And they blame the parent till they die. And then they didn't fully live their life. I'm like, dude, pull your pebble out.
And not only that, it's so true. They then, if they have kids,
Repeat the pattern.
Exactly. And that's the part that I find so disheartening and so sad is like, yeah, it's hard to do the work because I think the work is never done.
No, I think
there's
once we get it, we die.
Yeah, probably.
We're here just to evolve and learn and experience. Right. And then once we get it and we've done all we came to do, we go.
Yeah.
Whether it's at 30 or 2, because you just came to set your mom up with some story, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's like you're out. So I don't want to quit learning quite yet.
Yeah, no, me either. Yeah,
I'm hoping I learn until about 88.
Okay. I kind of been saying lately, I want to live till I'm 100.
Oh, you could too. I can see you being a cute little 100-year-old lady.
Yeah, thanks.
Because you're tiny.
Yeah, I know, I'm not a big person.
I could just sling you on my back and go for a run.
I'm 5'2".
You're 5'2"?
I always say like I'm small but mighty.
Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and you can see too just how and it was me too. It's like who we had to become from our childhood.
Yeah.
I had to become outspoken, middle of 6, everyone fending for themselves. I had to I like to make people laugh.
Yeah.
So all of these things, like getting attention and making people laugh and and being outspoken and living with balls. My dad told me I had balls and he was so proud of me. It's like all of these things mushed together to make me who I am today.
Yeah, totally.
But the good part is going to forgiveness and compassion and forgiveness, understanding, because then that frees up so much in your body for love.
It's amazing, and it's also just, it's hard to really look at yourself in the mirror, in my opinion. And this is like, I've been really working for the last year and a half and, proudly say my therapist has really helped.
Yeah.
Just bring a space of centering. So, 'cause I'm a giver and sometimes to a fault. And it's what I do for a living. And I think it's why I'm successful, is because I can see the help that people need and then provide it in the work that I do.
Yeah.
But I also have a problem with falling in love with the potential of people, whether it be, I can see something with a client, with a friend, with a lover, whatever that is, because at the end of the day, potential isn't real unless it's their reality.
I was going to say that's kind of reminds me of when you have an expectation of someone.
Correct.
But they can't meet your expectation. You're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Right.
Instead of just being accepting for what is.
It's so true. And I admit that's
so you're
a
seeing what it could be
Right.
instead of what it is.
Not all the time, but yes,
But sometimes.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, we do things too to set ourselves up for disappointment or
yeah. And at the end of the day, it's exhausting and I don't want to live like that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do 100% of the time.
No, don't ever do anything 100%
I mean,
of the time.
it's not real. And that brings back, I know we took a huge tangent, but like it brings back to a messy time that changed my life forever.
Tell me.
So I was working for a long time, and I'm not going to use names just out of professionalism.
I
because
forget that part sometimes.
That's okay. But for me, I really feel I want to honor that time because it brought me here.
Yeah.
Even though it was awfully toxic. I was working for a company for almost 10 years, a fitness franchise, and I helped the business really grow. And I was an integral part of the business. And I felt so, I was the nuts and bolts of the business. And like I said, everything I do, I give all of what I do because that's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up franchising, and I became the director of operations, which was helping the franchisees build their businesses, get open, etc., as well as being the lead instructor and teaching other instructors, etc. And the working environment, because of the owner, it was toxic. That's the word I'm going to use. And it was not a healthy work environment. And there were a lot of inappropriate things happening for years that I witnessed and that I was unfortunately brought into.
Yeah.
Well, I loved this place so much, and it's what made me realize how much I loved fitness and that I was good at it. and that it
Yeah.
was something that like I wanted to do in my life besides a part-time gig when I came off tour, because that's how fitness first started. And when I decided to stop touring and stop performing, I really dove into this business and learned a lot. I mean, there was so much I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it was a learn and go type of thing because, you know, the company hadn't grown at this stage either. And so the base of us was a very small group of people who were trying to figure out what to do with not a ton of knowledge, not a lot of business experience.
Right.
And there was just drama. I mean, drama daily with the students and the owner and the franchisee. I mean, it was tough.
Yeah.
But I was afraid to leave. I was afraid to leave financially. I was afraid that what if I'm not good enough and I try and do my own thing? What if I don't have enough money?
Yeah.
La 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 la. And at the very end, I was having some discussions because I wanted a piece of the business.
Yeah.
After 10 years.
Yes.
Right. And it became a downward spiral in a very quick amount of time. And it was literally like 3 months. A series of events happened, one more toxic than the next. And I was getting squashed. And one thing was being taken away and another thing was being taken away. And I was like, the third thing happened without going into details. And I was like, I have to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
My spirit will die here.
Yeah.
And I was sitting, and I will never forget this day as long as I live. There was a small personal training gym attached to the group fitness room. And there was a row machine because I was personal training clients. I was waiting on one. And I had an altercation with the owner, and I was crying. And I was trying not to let any people who were walking out of class see me. And one of my longtime students came over, and she said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm not. I'm really not okay." And she's like, "What's wrong?" And I said, I was afraid, like walking on eggshells every day.
Yeah.
Like if I say anything, if I do anything, this man will cause a problem. So very long story short, that's when she texted me a picture that day.
Yeah.
Of, "Do you want to work here?" And that's when my wheels started turning about Shift.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you, the last day I was there was it was cathartically. It literally, like I looked around the room and every student, because it was coming, I had given my notice, and it was like, my time here is done.
Yeah.
Like I had tears, but not sobbing tears.
Yeah.
And it was
just
like
change.
a new beginning. You never know, change, all of that. And I don't know. It was like,
You know what I love is that God, the universe, higher power, stacks so much shit on you when it's time to go.
Yeah.
And if you don't get the first 5 loads that it's time to go, you'll get 5 more loads. So much so that you're on your knees and you can't breathe.
I literally was.
And then you have to like lay back and let them fall off and go, what am I doing? But you have to get beat up. Sometimes when you're in it, it's all gray matter and you're just trying your best to stay in it, make money, do what's right. And more shit's happening. But if we don't get the pings right off the bat, that was kind of shitty. I should probably leave. I don't be right. But we get in it and it becomes gray matter. And then all of a sudden we can't breathe or we're sick or we're
I also
broken.
had invested so much time that like part of it, and I admit this now looking back, was my ego. I was like, what? Like I couldn't believe that the answer was no to my question after 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears, literally. And I realized, because I'm supposed to be doing my own thing.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to be helping someone else. But I'm just service oriented. And it was like a total leap of faith. And my best friend and I have this joke: leap and a net will appear.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always about the risk.
It's like they said in that movie, if you build it, they will come.
Right.
And all the
Field
old
of Dreams.
Yes.
Yes.
All those old fake baseball players came out.
It's so true. You know, so I was petrified.
The same thing with this is the same thing that Dave and I were going to do a podcast, and I bought everything. I got the producer, blah, blah, blah. And then it imploded and he's like, we're not doing it. And I was like, all right. And then I just sat back here in the chair going, stupid purchases. Now what? I was like, oh, I'm supposed to do it on my own.
Yeah.
That was just the thing to get it set up.
Yeah.
or else I would have never gotten set up. And then he left because I'm supposed to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much.
I mean that. I mean that because it's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard to figure out like what are you truly passionate about, and then how are you going to make a living, and how are you also going to inspire others? Because that's really a successful
I have to
gig.
say, I talk about this. I don't allow the word hard into my vocabulary
Okay.
because the universe is like electricity, off and on, black and white. So if you say hard, it's like, oh, let's conspire with obstacle courses. She said hard. Come on. They're not realizing if we're joking or not. It's just
Mm-hmm.
black. So I always say things are going to move with grace and ease. And when they don't, I'm probably not walking on the right path. Because if we are in line with what we're supposed to be doing and we are doing it from a joyous place,
Mm-hmm.
automatically we're inspiring others and money's coming and all of those things.
Right.
So I always think it's going to be easy with grace and ease. And what I've learned after I pitched TV shows for 5 years and how all the doors shut, and I would get back to it and shut, I was on the wrong path.
Hmm.
And they had to keep shutting for me to finally go, maybe I'll walk over there for a minute. Oh, hi, beautiful blooming trees, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So it's that I now see when things are hard, either I'm off center
Mm-hmm.
or not connected to who I really am, my power, or I'm walking down the wrong path with thorn bushes and I'm stepping on them and I'm bleeding. Get
I
the
get
fuck off
that.
that path.
Right.
So I think there's something I'm allowing myself now that I only do what I like. I only do what brings me joy. I don't give a shit how anyone takes it. And I don't mean to say that to anyone. I share from my heart authentically me. And the person who needs to hear it hears it.
Yeah, that's true.
And it could be one person or it could be 50 or it could be one day 1,000,000.8 on this here podcast.
All right.
I'm going to manifest that. Okay, Ben? Do you hear that? I need confirmation. So anyway, I'm being with this new way of
Right.
going with the flow of
I know.
life, knowing the universe has
You're
my
right.
back. And when I'm starting to swim upstream, I got to go, I'm doing something wrong and flip back over and ride back the wave.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started doing that recently, these two really great women came up to me and said, I want to create a show with you.
I love it.
And I always knew I'd have a show and I always knew it would be a big hit and make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going on the wrong path, trying knocking on doors, and I wasn't ready for it yet.
Right.
So they all had to shut. And then when I just went down the path, flowing with life and what came to me, they came to me when I
That's
was ready.
awesome.
So that's this kind of new thing that I'm riding that. And I want to ride that shit until I go 6 feet under and then back up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love that. You know what? It's a good perspective to say not hard because we all have our own, like, you're right. It's not black
The
and white.
second we say it's hard, it's hard.
Yeah. I've had, for lack of a better word, some challenges.
Yeah.
Some rocks in the road, some swimming upstream,
Yeah.
however you want to verbalize it. That has taught me so much about myself. And really, it's the last year. The biggest
Yeah.
growth I've had is in the last year. And it's,
Why do you
I-
think that is?
I think, because I'm ready. I think because I'm ready.
We act tough and strong and try and do it for so long on our own. And then we're like, I'm tired. And you can
Yeah.
soften a little bit to welcome
Yeah.
something else in.
It's just, I've had really, in even just the last 3 or 4 months, some amazing opportunities present themselves in all of my frustrations that show up. You know, I'll have days where I'm literally in tears because I'm a one-woman show who makes the business look like, you know, I have this incredible team of people helping me and I have great instructors, but I don't have anyone on the business side.
Yeah.
My marketing guy, Mark, he's great and he helps me a lot, but there's
Is that the
that-
one I think who has a crush on you who stands sometimes at the side of the class? I'm like, that guy likes you. You're like, stop it. He's my marketing guy. I'm like, no, he has a crush on you.
You're crazy.
Is that guy?
My marketing guy?
Is that the
Mark?
guy who I thought you liked you? I can't remember. I didn't know
I
what
don't
his.
know.
Okay. There's some guy that was around every once in a while. I was like, he has a crush on you bad.
You're funny.
And you're like, no, he's my business, this and that. I was like, no, he's dying. For you.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
So at the end of the day, I just feel like when you really see what it is that you want, when you really are able to have clarity, it's easier.
Oh, yeah.
You don't feel, you know, and I think that I've been foggy.
Yeah.
I
and you
think
get
that there's-
foggy when you're foggy.
Yeah.
You get exactly what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
What you put out, right?
Yeah, totally.
And when you have complete laser sharp clarity, you get it. You
Yeah.
get the thing
Yeah.
because you're walking towards it every day, regardless of how big your steps are. You're going to freaking get it. There's
Yeah.
nothing stopping you unless the crazy comes in.
Right. And the crazy just is really insecurities and doubt.
Yeah.
You know, like I find
Fear. Yeah.
totally when you're like in a situation where you're not fear based, it's not chunky, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't know, at least for me when I'm very clear when I'm leading with love or fear,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
now when fear creeps in, I go, oh, thank you for showing me I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
I'm walking the right direction because it's stirring up my insecurities, which means I'm about to learn more and push through again.
Yes.
So I used to be crippled by it or held back by it. Now it's like fuel,
right,
like a rocket to fuel me to go right into the thing that I'm fearful of. Because then once you do it, you realize, I can't believe I was afraid of that.
so, isn't that funny? You get
Yeah,
there and
they're
you're like,
just
oh my god,
thoughts.
I can totally do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, except for jumping out of an airplane again, I probably would not do that again.
I only did that one
I
time
did it
too.
once and that was enough. I experienced it.
Yeah,
I didn't love it.
I loved it.
You did?
I did.
Did you do tandem with the guy behind
I
you?
did. My sister and I did it together, but we both did tandem. But
I did it with my sister too.
it was an experience I'll never forget, Lee. I have never seen the world, obviously, at that scope. I mean,
Dropping 900 miles an hour.
were your cheeks like
Flapping. It was before I had old person face. They were
Yeah.
just flapping like, what the? But I remember I was towards the back of the plane and my sister Katie got up. She's mouths to me, I don't want to fucking do this. And I was screaming, I don't, but no one could hear me because
Right,
it's so
so
loud because
loud.
the doors open.
I know.
And then my guy starts squatting us forward. I'm like trying to drag my body so he can't get me off
Exactly.
the gosh dang plane. I did not want to go at all.
Yeah.
And then he's like, 1, 2, 3. And he did 3 flips out of it. Katie's like, we just jumped and then spread eagle. I was like, oh my God, just did flips. But then, of course, I was happy I did it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that. I got to do that again. Like
I
scuba
just-
diving, I have to do it at least once a year.
Oh, okay. I've
That's
never
my
done scuba diving
shit.
because I'm a little bit claustrophobic, so I don't think I can do it.
No, my husband was claustrophobic too. He went down a little bit and then my ears and
Yeah.
And I was like, bye, honey, in Flanger, BC. I'm going to go 60 feet down. Are you okay? Go
Yeah.
up. I want to go down. No, yeah, like that kind of stuff I love.
get that. I'm total adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
I am, but I was a gymnast, dancer,
And could
acrobat,
you soar when you did the whatever? What was it called again?
trapeze bungee,
No, the
aerial
troop.
silks? Oh, Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it wrong once, and that's how it sticks in my mind. Circus du Soleil.
Yeah, no. A lot of people do that, by the way.
Circus des Soleils.
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
Cirque du Soleil. Almost. LA.
Cirque du Soleil.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, don't.
But yeah, could you fly from that thing to another thing?
So I never did flying trapeze.
Yeah.
So I never like flew my body from one
Okay,
person
okay.
to the next. I always had an apparatus.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Because you weren't trained in that.
no.
Because you could totally do that with your little muscle body.
Yeah.
What is something that you want to give the people listening that could touch their heart or inspire them or be a tool in their tool belt? And if you asked me that on the spot, I would
Yeah.
have a blank slate and go, I have no idea.
I would say be more gentle with yourself.
Oh, I love that.
That's what I would say because that's what I'm really working on with myself. Because
oh yeah.
I'm such a type A plus personality and I have very high expectations of myself. And I realize it's not fair on a daily basis to put that kind of pressure. Nobody put that pressure on me. I just showed up this way in the world.
Yeah.
Like my mom was not like that. My mom was always like, do what you love, you know? So I don't know where that came from. It's me.
Well, so it was a survival thing too, I think.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden we realize the things that served us when we were young are not serving us so well anymore.
correct.
And then we can shut them.
Yeah, so be more gentle because I think your most beautiful self comes with grace and with acceptance. And that's a
Mhm.
really hard thing, at least for me, to accept all my parts every day. For a strong woman, just like everyone, I have my insecurities. And it's really lovely to know that all of that is just as beautiful.
This reminds me of, I love that. This reminds me of a sign you have in the bathroom when I was taking my morning poops. You have a little plaque in there and it says, be strong, somebody may be watching.
Mhm.
And I always flashes in my mind when I look like that, be vulnerable, somebody may be watching.
Yeah.
Because I think we all try to be so strong all the time. And you were
Yeah.
strong all the time. And now you're allowing yourself to be gentle. And that's where our vulnerability is. That's where our humanness
Our
is.
true self
Our
comes.
true self
Yeah.
comes from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always like, so I want to say that, be vulnerable. because somebody could be watching.
Yeah.
And as we're vulnerable and we're gentle with ourselves, we teach other people and allow other people to do the same.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, it's great that you bring up the word vulnerable. I think that vulnerability is your biggest strength.
Yeah.
And I think that to be truly courageous is vulnerable.
And authentic. And
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a power tool.
Correct.
It's a power tool.
Yeah.
He threw his hand up in the air and I was like, was he going like this? Woohoo, I get it, girls. Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny. I'm 45 years old and
How many?
45.
I didn't hear it. I didn't know that.
I'm 45.
45.
Yeah.
You're a little baby girl.
It's so funny. I feel I have younger people in my life and older people in my life, but I'm always the mature one. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
If my mom was sitting here, she would say to you, when Dana was 3 years old, she was having conversations with me like she was an adult.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing now as an adult person, as that mature woman, is to find the blend, because I am who I am.
Yeah.
I am a mature person. But to find that little girl and that mature woman
I was
and
just
marry
gonna
them.
say that, yeah.
You know, because when I'm happy and when I'm joyous and
that's when
it
we're
fills.
childlike.
Yeah.
When we're having fun.
Yeah.
We're here to have fun.
And I'm very serious, but I'm also really funny. I mean, the joke that I have is, if you know me well, you're going to say, oh, well, she's a serious person. But if you know me really well, you're going to say, that girl's fucking hilarious. Because it's just wit. You know, it comes out of the blue.
Yeah.
I love my sister, like you, loves to make people laugh. My best friend, that's not where I come from. But if you're laughing, it's because I was funny.
Yeah.
Like I had a funny bone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's important.
And yeah, I love that to allow yourself to feed the fun, the play.
Yes.
Because that gets that.
We're not taught that.
Oh, hell no.
We're not taught that.
Hell no.
So.
And we all have inside of us that 5-year-old girl who didn't have her needs met, who's still kicking and screaming. And it's like not too late to go in there and give her some love.
Totally.
And tell her, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
You're good. You don't have to be tough anymore. You don't have to push through. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to. You can just coach you. I got you now with my adult brain. And hopefully it's not too batshit crazy that I'm going to take care of you.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am so happy that you came here
Me
today.
Too. Thank you.
I'm so happy that we crossed over from instructor to poo wars to you being in my home and me seeing your preciousness.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I feel the same.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to plug anything before we go? Like
I just want to plug Shift by Dana Perri. Come take class. You can also check out both websites, Shift by DP and danaperri.com. Lots of stuff, online training and classes and stuff.
I think you have to do some video series or something. So if they can't be in LA, they can do your class.
Well, I have a subscription service on my danaperri.com. So yeah, if you don't live in Los Angeles, go to danaperri.com and there's a whole online subscription service and you can work out with me in your house. Yeah.
Kick ass.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hug.
Okay.
Thank you,
do
Dana.
Thank you.
Yay. And look at her. You have to get a little bit of her muscle body. My darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was really awesome.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to show the abs? Did you shut it?
No, not yet.
Okay, let's see.
No, I don't want to do that. You can just see my body. How's that?
Show a little bit. Yeah. Look at it. She has this.
She calls that the sexy muscle.
Okay. Where that goes down to a penis.
She has it too.
A little bit.
She's just a little bit covered right now. Okay, bye.
Bye.